Let's see. So my name is Dampada. I'm the technology manager at Nordec, and I'll talk to you a bit about our way to decarbonize the construction industry. So first, really briefly, who and what Nordec is. So Nordec is a leading frame contractor in the Nordics. We're headquartered in Finland, but we have operation out in the whole of Nordics and Baltics, Poland, Germany, Czechia, and so on. So steel is really at our heart, and that's where we come from, our main material. But we also like to mix and match different materials together in the best possible way. And we also like to be involved in the whole value chain in the construction business or in the construction process. So we like to start from the design, take part in the product, or we do the production, installation, and so on. So we really want to be involved throughout the whole value chain and the whole process, from design to ready-made project. So then coming to the main topic today, decarbonizing the construction industry and Nordec's journey towards this target. So first, a few painful facts. I think also the previous speaker told you these numbers roughly. I don't know any Lithuanian, but I can guess so at least. So we're living in the middle of a climate crisis, as we all know, and the painful fact is that the built environment stands for over 1/3 of the global energy-related carbon emissions. And as we look at steel, so steel industry or steel production stands for is responsible for about 7% of the global carbon emissions. So we're talking really big numbers here. And out of this steel, more than half is used for the built environment for constructions and for buildings and for infrastructure. Then concrete. So as we know, cement is the large polluter in concrete, and the cement production is also standing or responsible for another 7% of the global carbon emissions. And concrete is by far the most widely used construction material. So I think it's fair to say that we need to do something now. We can't just do business as usual anymore. But the good news is also that we can act now. We can do stuff. And we do it best together. We need to all pitch in and do something to avoid the climate crisis. Starting from policymakers, planning authorities, developers, investors, architects, engineers, users, producers, everybody. And just a short look on what's going on the European Union and legislation and regulation that are coming. So we have lots of things coming from the European Union affecting us in the construction industry. So we have the new construction product regulation, we have EU taxonomy, eco-design for sustainable products regulations, and then we have the EPBD, Energy Performance of Buildings Directive. And I just wanted to point out that through this life cycle assessment or whole life cycle assessment of buildings will become mandatory by 2028 for large buildings. And by 2030, there need to be national carbon limits for buildings in place. Then, what are we at Nordec doing for sustainability? So sustainability is built into our vision. So you can see it here. Substantial customer value through efficient and sustainable solutions done in a safe and smooth way. So we work on sustainability through a few different topics. So sustainability isn't just the climate action, but a lot else also. But climate action is, of course, one main topic. I will talk about more on this in a few minutes. But then we also have the responsible sourcing. We need to take care of the whole value chain. So we like to really get involved with our suppliers and subcontractors and work together with them to enhance the sustainability throughout the value chain. We work closely with our clients, but I will talk more on this also in a few minutes. And then we have a certified environmental management system that in part means that we have a project-specific environmental management plan through which we take care of meeting all the expectations and requirements in the project. We also think that everybody needs to be transparent with sustainability, so that's why we're now setting up a comprehensive sustainability reporting system. And also kind of part of this is that many of our clients are eligible to the EU taxonomy and want to align with the EU taxonomy requirements. So there we also play a part and try to help them there. And last but not least, so safety and well-being, that's very, very important to us. We want to make sure that everybody can go home healthy and safe after the day of work, and our goal is really to have 0 accidents. And all of these are then anchored also in 7 of the 17 United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. So we work from those and boil them down to our own targets and ways of working. Also, with regards to the carbon footprint, so we have set targets on how we want to reduce the carbon footprint. For scope 1 and 2, we want to cut emissions in half by 2030. For scope 3, by 42%. And if these scopes are not familiar to everybody, so scope 1 and 2 are basically the energy-related emissions, and scope 3 is, let's say, everything else. But for many companies in the construction business, it's the raw materials and products that they buy and use. And we are almost already there, reaching our scope 1 and 2 emissions targets. We are at 49% at the end of last year, so we're quite close already, ahead of schedule. In the scope 3, we have still stuff to do. And for the steel products we make ourselves, we have set an even more ambitious target to cut the emissions by 55% on average. So then coming to the clients and how we work together with our clients. So one important thing is the life cycle assessment. So for the projects, we do life cycle assessments and report the results. We have EPDs for our products and also offer low carbon products. Many of our clients work with environmental certification schemes like BREEAM or LEED. So here we are also ready to support our clients in getting the essential points to reach the desired level that they search for. And also chemical safety is important, not only for the environment's sake, but also for the health and safety of the people. So all the chemicals we use are checked and logged in a system called iChemistry, which, for example, gives you instruction how to use personal protection then. And then also with the whole business, so we want to work together with several different associations and try to really push the industry as a whole forward. So what's an EPD? The previous speaker also talked about the EPDs. So EPD is an environmental product declaration. Essentially, it's a public and transparent way of declaring the environmental impacts of a product throughout the whole life cycle. And the good thing is that it's third-party verified, so it's reliable and you can trust the results. Nordec has several different EPDs. We have general EPDs covering basically everything we make, but then we have also developed several low-carbon products and EPDs for these products then based on recycled steel. And with the help of these EPDs and low-carbon products, we can decrease the carbon footprint of the products by 35 to even 70% already today for these products. And of course, we also work all the time with new products and new EPDs, so something is happening all the time. Then if we look at the projects, so as I said, we really want to work closely with the projects and the clients and throughout the whole process. So we really want to be involved in the design phase and optimize the solutions to really find the best possible solutions and compare different solutions and combining the materials in a clever way. And also to support this, then we have the project-specific life cycle assessments through which we can then compare different solutions for the carbon footprint point of view. and of course use the low carbon products in the projects. So here are 3 different examples of projects where we have helped our clients reduce their carbon footprint in the projects. So in a logistics center in Finland, we reduced the carbon footprint by 20% by combining materials in a clever way. So we didn't just sub-optimize the different parts alone or try to use as much steel as possible, but we really tried to find the best solution and combine different materials. Then 2 office projects or multi-use buildings in Sweden. So in both of them, we really worked hard with the design from an early stage on in the process and used low carbon products. So we were able to cut the carbon footprint of the frame by roughly a quarter in these projects. So, but this is not enough still. There isn't enough recycled steel in the world to cover the needs of construction industry, and we still need to get better figures and lower carbon footprint. So what we want to do upcoming in the next few years, so of course we continue with the optimizing design solutions. We keep the production efficient and minimize the scrap, for example. We focus on the transports, try to make efficient transports and use bio-based fuels and electricity in transports. And the installation can be done in a fossil-free way, so using no fossil-based fuels. And then we can achieve a carbon footprint of the ready-made product, so not just the raw material, but the ready-made product of less than 0.5 kilo carbon dioxide equivalents per kilogram of steel. And compared to iron ore-based normal standard steel today, or steel products today, that's a reduction of even 80 to 85%, so quite a significant reduction. And I will even tell you the secret behind this nice number. So it's of course the next generation iron ore-based steel that's based on hydrogen reduction instead of carbon reduction that's used today. So we have an agreement with SSAB on deliveries of fossil-free steel when they ramp up the production eventually. And of course there are other producers making this same change in production and going for hydrogen reduction instead of carbon reduction of steel or iron. So, and then one exciting possibility that we have is a hybrid frame. So basically it's really a frame where we combine steel, timber and concrete in the best possible way and the most efficient and sustainable way. So what we have is a very large palette of different kinds of structures that we can combine in a really flexible way to build up the frame for each specific case and project. And of course it's based on using steel, concrete and timber with as low carbon footprint as possible. And beneath this we have a office concept, which is basically a pre-designed office concept that we can take and use and of course modify for the specific needs. But basically it's a office for up to 8 stories high, 1 hour fire rating, and with a grid of 7.2 times 6 meters. So we have a column beam frame basically. So the benefits that we really gain is the lowest possible carbon footprint basically, and we also gain a open flexible space. So that means that we can squeeze different use cases or use scenarios in the building, and this is also from a sustainability point of view good, because then we can extend the life cycle of the building. So when we build something, we need to make sure that it stays in place and in use for as long as possible, because using a building for only 20 years is kind of a waste basically. We have a slim floor solution, so we don't have anything protruding much beneath the slabs, so we don't interfere with installations. And we have a really lightweight frame, so we can save on foundations, and it's also possible to use when you want to build on top of some existing building, for example. So the office concept consists of the following parts. So we have glulam columns, so timber columns. We have steel slim floor beams, Nordec quattro beams. And then we have CLT, cross-laminated timber slabs. We have steel edge beams. And the detailing here is quite interesting, that we have made it so that the slabs and the beams work together as a stabilizing element in the plan. And then we have concrete shafts working as stabilizing elements in the vertical direction. The facade is a lightweight facade element system, and the mechanical room is a lightweight steel frame on top of the roof. So this is basically what the office concept is made out of, and through which we can really make an efficient and low carbon frame. And as you know, the devil often lies in the details, and we have really thought the detailing through in this office concept. So we use mainly or mostly, let's say, almost only screwed connections. So this makes the installation phase quick and safe and efficient, but it also enables us to dismantle the building or parts of the building if needed quite easily, and basically can use the parts again over and over again as such or with small modifications. So it's a really good fit for the circular economy. Then finally, I think I have good time for this final carbon footprint comparison then basically. So we have compared the carbon footprint of the office building with different solutions according to the European level system. This is for the product stage, so A1 to A3 according to the EPD or life cycle assessment. And this is for the complete floor and column system. So they're technically comparable, so they have the same they meet the same requirements for fire, vibrations, acoustics, and so on. So you can compare them. What's not included in the comparison are the concrete shafts, the mechanical room, and the facades. So it's not the whole building, but a significant part of it. So here we have compared the hybrid frame with the glulam columns, CLT slabs, and steel beams. We have a kind of Nordic standard solution with hollow core slabs and steel slim floor beams. And then we have a cast in situ concrete frame. So by doing it like this, if we see from the right to the left, the cast in situ concrete frame is the worst from the concrete carbon footprint point of view. If we switch to a steel concrete frame, we can reduce the carbon footprint by some 8 to 10% roughly. But the real benefit is when we take the timber into use also, then we can cut the emissions in almost half. So this is a significant improvement compared to like standard solutions. So to wrap up with 2 minutes to spare, so let's all be part of the solution. Let's get away from doing business as usual and being a problem. Let's be part of the solution. And really, let's work on this together to solve this problem, because nobody can do this alone. No company can do it alone. We really need the whole construction industry to work on this together and avoid the climate crisis or stop the climate crisis that we are living in. That's all from me. Thank you.